Hi guys, it's EGC here. So today I'm here with another D standard deck profile, and this time we will be covering the new starter for Stoichia, which is Lianorn. So she is the new starter, new right line for us, and as you probably will know, by the time I release this video, on the same week we are getting the booster support. So there will be changes to this deck, but if you're just looking into how the starters can work with some old cards, this is one way. There are many ways you can actually utilize this right line and also the support to do whatever you want to. But this one I find it quite interesting, and with some romance, it is inspired by a friend of mine. So he shared me the idea, and then I just do a little bit changing of stuff and play it, and so far I'm having fun. And it's quite interesting. So let's go through the right deck first. Of course, we have our Lianorn, and then we have our Retina, we have our Gracia, and then we have our Coffee. So Coffee basically just a starter, so we don't need to care about her too much. But then the Great One, starting from Grade 1, is getting more serious. Therefore, Garcia, we can call her to the Riga circle after you ride your Retina on top of her. So it's the perfect one. It guarantees you a Grade 1 guarantee unit that boosting, and when boosting Vanguard, this unit gets plus 5k. So there's two options for you with this card. Is one, call her behind the Vanguard circle, so that when you boost, no matter you reach your Lianorn or not, you always get to boost 5k more. And like if this is the line, then you're hitting 23k if you're going first, 8k on opponent's defense, 15k guard is not enough, so they will likely to take it, which helps you to push a lot more early damages. Or you can just put her aside, which you won't get the plus 5, but you can simply call something else to do a strong re-guide column, probably reaching 18k. That just say simple 5k card is not going to be enough. 10k card is also not enough. Then E15, right? And even if you put her aside with a Lianorn skill, you will still be able to boost with her, so you can still kind of get the 5k bonus when you get very free and when you can use the skill, right? So that's two ways you can actually use this card. Usually I just call her behind the Vanguard circle, unless I really have something that I want to be on hit or baiting shields, then I'll put those behind my Vanguard circle, else she will be the one. And then when you get to a Retina, you of course can pull her out, but when Lianorn right on top of Retina, you can Soul Blast 1 and call a Grade 1 lower unit from the drop zone to the Riga circle. So helps you to get free units to boost for your Lianorn as soon as possible. And she also got a skill that if there are 3 or more backward regards, this unit get boost. But usually it's not something that we actually look at, because we don't use a lot of reviving cards to revive her. We have better targets, so, and she is only in a right deck, so unless you put her in your main deck, which some build does, if not, then you probably don't need to worry about the boosting part at all. And when you get to a Lianorn, you start doing your stuff, and she will be having the same name with the upcoming Grade 3 from the booster, which is also another Lianorn. So even if you just cross riding stuff, you can still do the personal ride. And when this unit attacks, you can Soul Blast 1 and then discard 1 card. By doing so, you choose your standing regards with boost at the back row and boost. If you have 3 units boosting this Vanguard for the battle, you get +1 drive, and battle ends, you can stand 2 of your back row regards. Now, one thing that I think some rulings already came out for people who might not know, because when we usually play like Vanguard, say if we have like this, right? we just go attack and boost, right? That's what we do. But with her skill, you actually need to declare attack, right? And then use her skill while all these three are standing. When you pay the cost and say, okay, I'm using this effect, and then you rest free for boosting. That's a difference, because if you do this first and then you say I declare skill and then you boost with this, the total number will not be like when counting, it will not be free, and you will not be able to +1 drive and withstand. You can't do that, so do be careful. So I think that's the key point that you need to worry about. And she also got another skill that when boosted as a regard gets +5k, but unless you're really desperate on attackers, that sometimes I do play her as a regard. If not, that is a part of the skill that you don't need to worry about that a lot, right? So that's basically the right line, and we starting to build up great ones to boost. That's the idea, and let's go into the main deck as well. Because we always soul blast for the boosting effects, so we need personal right to help us to do so. Because when you are lacking like some other parts that have your soul charge, personal right is basically the only way for you to gain the soul. So yeah, here we are. And again, if we are desperate for attacker, she can always be a kind of an 18k attacker as long as you have something to boost her. And then Clapping Dragon. This card, if you haven't seen my like the unboxing of the trial deck video, you can go watch that. I only got 2 for now because I only get to have 1 starter because of some distributor issue that I can only get 1 starter for now. So I only have 2, but I eventually will have more, but I don't think I actually need too much of this card, at least for now. Even we don't have the booster support, because this card have no shield value. You can only draw 1 card and +10 if your opponent's is a Cardfight Vanguard, and you need to have your back row with 3 units, but that's only one for once. After that, it stays on the field, 13k, nothing else. So I probably will switch this card out for something else if I have better options. I still need to actually like go over the booster leads and try something out. But for now, since this card is a good card, like rotating cards, like you call this out, you get 1 card back, so it's kind of a good rotation, helping you to get your key parts and can do a big swing turn while you do personal right and stuff. And even when you don't have personal right, because you always need to attack with your Lianorn first, and then withstand 2 for boosting, so the side will usually be weaker, and this kind of self-pumping cards are good. That's why I'm still using this card first, and because it's a new trial deck, it's something that is for the trial deck, so why not just give that card a try. Okay. And next, what I am running is this Greed Assault, because we will be standing our regards after using Vanguard skill, so this card can always attack when you're on grade 3 onwards. That's the only weak point, that you can't play him during your grade 1, grade 2 turn. Of course, grade 1 you can't exactly play him, but say if you have any ways to pull him out, you still can't attack with him. So you need to reach grade 3 in order to use this card. That's the only weak point, but it gains 10k when attacking the Vanguard. So again, when you don't have personal right, this kind of self-pumping effects is actually quite important, if you ask me. So I'm using this card in here, and it's kind of a replacement while I only have 2 of the Clapping Dragon, but I find this card actually quite useful. But you really don't want to use too much, because if you have like 4 in your deck and you draw 3 into your hand and you want to early rush, you don't have any pieces to do so. So it's kind of a waste. Okay, and next, 4 of the Upbeat Dragon. This is also a card that I am like wishing to replace. but in like at the moment it's a very good card on the field, only on the field, because this card when intercept, and only when intercept, if you have like 2 or more grade 1 regards in your back row for the battle, this unit will get plus 10k shield, so it can be a 15k shield, and it requires you to have 2 grade 1 in the back row. That means if you're using Rectina, you have 2 Rectina at the back row, this card won't get the 10k plus. And also, you can't plus 10k shield when you just call this card directly from hand to Guardian Circle. You need to have it on field. So if this card get present, get retired, it's basically a waste. So it is the weak point of this card, but it is a card from the starter and we shouldn't be expecting too much, but having a 15k shield chance sometimes really saves your life because you are lacking like 10k shield, and this just helps you out. So still using this card so far is helping me, but again, there's a lot of moments that I have this card in your hand because I drive check it, so it's not on the field when I'm taking kit, and just a little bit suffering. But we can't ask for too much for a trial deck card, and it did some work, so good to stay. And then here is the hero or heroine of the deck, which is a Biara. So Biara, when this unit boosts and attack hits the Vanguard, you can put a grade 2 or lower card into your soul to draw one. Because your Lianorn always needs souls, this card basically help you fuse that up and help you do some filtering, and we sometimes need it because like when we are lacking shields, we can put like the grade 2, grade 1s in there and trying to exchange for another shield value. And also the next card will reveal what I am also playing, which is the Seabreeze Abduction, which is relating to order cards. So you can also put like extra order cards into your soul to draw a card, and you can just soul blast it anyway. And when you soul blast your orders, when there are 2 orders, and when this unit boosts attack hits the Vanguard, you can actually bind 1 order card from the drop zone and pick 1 order card from the drop zone. So you use this card to put order cards into your soul blast them, and then you pick them back up with this, and you can reuse the order or like refueling with Biara again. So that is going to help you out a lot. Yeah, so these 2 are the main great ones, and then with her you basically have your 3 choices of boosting the Vanguard, and the most ideal situation is you have 1 of each. So when you have a high power trying to hit, and when you hit you get to soul in 1 to draw, you get to pick up your orders, and you can keep rotating, right? That's the idea. And then we have 4 of the PGs because just good. Then normal booster PGs is good. Next, order cards. What are we playing? Wandering Souls, because we have free drive, why not go for 4 drive? And if you have too much order, you can just use a BRR skill to put them into the soul, right? And it, because we don't always bind our orders except using the Seabreeze Abduction, so we all good, right? We use 2 to gain drive, and we get 1 back because we guarantee to have 2 when we use Wandering Souls. Yeah. So next is Ghost Bink. I think it's that what it's called. I do need to check the name because I don't usually use this order card, but it's a very interesting one to use. Yes, Ghost Bilk. So this one is you can choose up to 2 grade 2 or higher normal units put on top of the deck and put this card into your zone. So you might ask, why am I putting 2 normal units back on top? For quite a few reasons. One, because this deck drive checks a lot. You rotating your cards on your deck a lot, so you keep drawing a lot. It's so easy to deck out, and sometimes you might just need an extra card or two for you to perform the drive check, and this card helps you. You put 2 things back, all fine, because you know 2 are blank and the third one is unknown, so your opponent still needs to give you something, right? And if your deck is still fine, the amount, and you do need to use this card because you don't have the soul, because you don't have this, you don't have person right, that's another thing. And one interesting thing that I don't think a lot of people would do, but it's possible, is that you can actually return cards that belongs to your right deck from your drop zone, and you return them, they go back to your right deck, so your deck size won't change and they won't go to your main deck top, so you can still have 3 blanks, drive checks, right? So is this something possible? But so far I have not done that yet, but it's possible. And then 2 of the wild intelligence, so that we can ditch things to a drop and call something back. Sometimes if we ditch enough orders, then you can use series abduction to pick them up as well, and it's a recyclable order card, because when you're lacking units to call, feel free to use this card. Okay, and then we still have one more order, which is the fine drink. So it is a defensive order, but we only have 3 other types, so the maximum shield value you can get from this card is only 15k. But sometimes when you are lacking that 15k, like the Puppet Dragon, that you really need the shield is there, and when you don't need it, use Biara skill, put it in soul and draw 1. That's it, right? And worse or worse, if you don't see yourself using this card, you see Resurrection, bind it to pick the other order that you really want, right? And of course you can pick this up if you want some shield value. Done. Triggers, very simple. The Stoichia over trigger, even though the generic over trigger will also do the job, but I find it more kind of romance, because we use our Vanguard attack first, and then our regards can still gain a crit to pressure your opponent. You get to draw a lot of cards, you get to heal, so many effects in there, so we love that. And with over trigger, since Lianorn will restand your back row regards, right? So you can actually put the 100 million power to those back row regards. If your opponent is trying to just say like 2 pass, 3 pass, over trigger the pass, put the power down to your back row. And when you restand them, that 100 million power can still be available to your other regards attacks, at least one of them, right? Of course, if you use the generic one, that means you have 2, but we love to see the crit, we love to see the draw, we love to see the heal, and this one have all, so I just go with it. Soul in crit, because we need souls. So far, if things going well, I don't need to use this card to soul in, I just need it for the shield value. But if you really need the souls, it's there. And then 3 more crits, 4 of the 10k draws, because draw is important for you to pick things up, and then 3 normal heals, and another heal that prevents non-trigger crit gain. It's just a testing card, and worst of the worst, you can use Biara to put this card into your soul and draw 1 card. So it's just a testing, but if you want like 4 of the 15k heals, that's totally fine too. Yeah, so that's basically the deck list, and let me also show you like the perfect formation, I would say. Like you need these, right? And then your Vanguard says this one, right? And then you have your grade 1. That's usually what my setup for the Vanguard attack is. But of course, if you want like to start putting cards into soul, that is what you want to do, right? So you have these two options. But say you just go for normal ones, and hopefully you have one of these. And what's left is basically one of these. So like for perfect defense, I probably go for this. So when your Vanguard attacks, you scale with this and then withstand. Right, so this still hit for 18, this is 28, and depending on what triggers you get. Yeah, so that's what you're aiming for. And since we don't run like below 8Ks grade 1s, this one won't be too much of a change compared to these two, because it's only 3K difference, so it's not going to like break another shield point. But again, it's a good draw power, 1 turn 10K push. But these two are something that I am aiming to replace, and let's see what we get. Yeah, so I think that's it for this deck profile. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments down below, and we can further discuss from there. Yeah, so if there will be more deck profiles coming up, of course, when new set is up. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the unboxing happening very soon. And yeah, I think that's it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.